Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and I recently got a chance to go used Lego shopping in Arizona, where there is a shockingly high amount of used Lego stores all scattered around the area. In fact, throughout this video, we'll be going to not one, not two, not three, but 10 different used Lego stores on a crazy Lego used store shopping extravaganza, including the grand opening of the 100th Bricks and Minifigs store, where I actually was able to do a meet and greet and be a guest there. This was such a fun time, and it was absolutely crazy. Because I had to do this trip kind of in between work on a weekend, I really had to go fast and just visit every single store on one day. And so, let's go ahead and take a look at my incredible adventure around Arizona, going to a ton of used Lego stores, mostly across one day. There was one that I did the other day, but I was really trying to fit them all into one day. It was a crazy adventure, 10 different locations, and let's jump in right now. So for this crazy adventure, we went to not one, not two, not three, but 10 used Lego stores and new Lego stores all around Arizona, starting off with number 1, Bricks and Minifigs Avondale, 2 was Bricks and Minifigs Peoria, 3 was Zach's Bricks, 4 was Bricks and Minifigs North Phoenix, 5 was Bricksperience, 6 was Bricks and Minifigs Gilbert, 7 was Bricks and Minifigs Chandler, 8 was Arizona Brick Co., 9 was a Lego store in Phoenix, Arizona, and finally, number 10 was the 100th Bricks and Minifigs ever opened in Central Phoenix. This is a pretty crazy adventure, and honestly, I had no idea there were this many used Lego stores within driving distance. I think they've even got Oregon beat, and you know, when I go on my crazy road trips to Oregon, we always have all sorts of insane adventures at all the Lego stores on the way from Seattle to Oregon, but this kind of blew it out of the water. So, first of all, funny thing was that timing-wise, it really worked out because Robin and I are actually working on a separate startup and side venture on the side, so we happened to be there anyway for stuff pertaining to our startup, and so it really just worked out that the 100th Lego store for Bricks and Minifigs was opening right at that same location. So after going through some work meetings, I headed off to my first location, which was Bricks and Minifigs Avondale. Let's introduce it right now. Okay, so I'm here at location number 1, Bricks and Minifigs Avondale. Let's go inside and check it out. So inside Bricks and Minifigs Avondale, there was a crazy selection of used Lego items. And usually what I try to do is every time I go on an adventure in a different state or a different place with used Lego stores, I always try to find, well, what are the most interesting items? What are my favorite items? And is there anything I don't even own? For me, it was really cool just seeing the sheer variety that they had, from Bionicle masks to animals to dinosaurs. Of course, a ton of minifigures, but a lot of different sets as well. The way that Bricks and Minifigs stores work is that they were pretty much one of the first used Lego stores ever to be made. So essentially what they would do is that they would come up with different types of used sets, and people would either bring them in to trade, or they would have their own selection, and you can buy, sell, and trade at any Bricks and Minifigs store. And this one in particular had a really cool selection. Some of my favorite sets there were Alec from Bionicle, the Salvage Mech from Ninjago. They of course had the Creator 3-in-1 Majestic Tiger, which is a great one, and it was really cool seeing even a Bionicle system scaled set, the Tower of Toa there, with that very rare flat dark gold Kraken, which was super cool to see on the system scaled Visorak. And of course they had a lot of really interesting other items as well. There was a clear display case with a Millennium Falcon, and one of the coolest things they had was the 2009 Lego Employee exclusive set. The set number is literally 2009, and it's just a buildable heart, so this is actually one of the only exclusive employee sets I don't own, because honestly, I'm not really the kind of person who collects packaging. I don't really care about packaging, so because the heart inside is literally just made up of standard bricks, I don't really have a need to get this one, but it was really, really cool to actually see this one physically with the box, which I've never seen in person before. Of course, they did have a really good selection of other random used and old sets as well, and one of my favorites was actually seeing one of the very first Lego sets I ever owned, which was the Orient Expedition boat, set number 7416. I have so many fond memories of being like 5 years old, playing with this in the bathtub of all places, and it was just super cool to see this actually in the box, new and sealed, which was really, really insane to see. I was able to pick up a Captain America mosaic for my friend Jonathan, aka Mini Superheroes Today, who's collecting every single Lego Marvel set. He had the mosaic already, but he didn't have the instruction manual, so it worked out because I kept the mosaic and he kept the instruction manual because I do not care about instruction manuals. Other really cool items at the store included the Exo Force Gate Defense, one of the classic Lego Classic Space LL-924 one-man spacecrafts, that's set number 487. They had the Alpha Team Mission Deep Freeze Wave 2 Scorpion. They had Rock Raiders, Ninjago, Studios, just all sorts of really crazy stuff. And I think the coolest thing that I saw was a sealed Lego Fabuland figure in the packaging, which was absolutely nuts to see that. If you don't know what Lego Fabuland is, it basically was a line of anthropomorphic animals that Lego ran all the way back in the 1980s, and it was a pretty limited run. So to see this brand new and sealed in that original packaging that just showed the animal and the accessories in the clear case was so cool, and definitely one of the most interesting things that I saw here at the store. But of course, soon enough, we had to move on to the next location, and don't forget, of course, at the end of the video, I'll be doing a haul, and I think partway through the video, we'll be doing kind of a midway haul as well, because there are so many locations here, I honestly don't even remember half the things I got. But the next location was Bricks and Minifigs Peoria, so let's introduce that right now. Okay, I literally have 5 minutes at the second location, Bricks and Minifigs Peoria, because I have to run to our third location, which closes in 30 minutes. So wish me luck, I'm gonna go in and out. So this is the inside of Bricks and Minifigs Peoria. It actually was really close to the original one, and this one had a lot of different things. Obviously, the cool thing about Bricks and Minifigs is that every single one that you visit has something unique and has something different. One of the rarest sets that I saw there was the Kilo versus Samurai X set from Ninjago. That is definitely one of the rarest Sons of Garmadon Ninjago sets ever. They had a good selection of Bionicle masks and even Knights Kingdom heads and CCBS and buildable figure heads, and I always love it when Bricks and Minifigs does stuff like including certain types of figures here and there, and some really rare minifigures as well, including a rare ninja minifigure that was going for $150 for the Ninja Samurai figure and $100 for the fully kitted out Dragon Knight from Castles. So really crazy to see just so many rare vintage Lego minifigures here, and it was really cool to also see them selling the Viking Midgard Serpent on its own for only $45, which is actually a pretty good deal. Overall, lots of really cool things to see here. They even had a section of sealed sets, so they had the old medieval market village from Castle Fantasy Era 2008, the original mini modulars, all sorts of really great stuff. Unfortunately, there wasn't really anything here that I actually needed. I kind of ended up owning pretty much everything inside of that store. So with that, it was time to move on to our third location, which was Zach's Bricks, and let's introduce it right now. Location 3 is Zach's Bricks. I gotta go in. I literally have 3 minutes before they close, so I'll be in and out, but let's check it out. Let's check it out. So there is Zach's Bricks, which is not Bricks and Minifigs associated. It was its own original used Lego store, and this one was really interesting because they almost had a complete collection of pretty much the Pirates of the Caribbean sets, almost every single one, which was very cool to see so many of those rare pirate ships on display. They of course had a whole section dedicated to Harry Potter and even some Lone Ranger stuff, which is super cool. You don't see those every day, and it was just interesting seeing their selection of items and how it differed from a regular Bricks and Minifigs, especially seeing all of those Pirates of the Caribbean ships was so cool. I got a ton of photos inside the store. It definitely was one of the smallest used Lego stores I've ever been to, and I'm really glad it actually showed up on Google Maps because otherwise there was no way I would have been able to find this on my own. But yeah, this is Zach's Bricks. It's super interesting, and I recommend you check it out because they have a pretty eclectic selection of sets compared to a lot of other things out there. One of the coolest things that Zach's Bricks had was the Keebler Elf, which is actually an official Lego item. It is glued. It was made for a Keebler Elf promotional giveaway. I know of like one other person who has it, my friend Dom, aka Cool Guy Dom from Lego Masters Season 3. Sadly though, the Keebler Elf was not for sale. It was part of the owner's personal collection. I did ask, but I am still on the hunt for that Keebler Elf, so hey, if you're selling it, let me know in the comments, but otherwise, nothing super crazy to see here. It was cool that they did have a Bionicle bin as well, so that was very nice, but soon enough, it was time to move on to our next location, which was yet another Bricks and Minifigs. And so, let's move on over to Bricks and Minifigs North Phoenix. Alright, for location number 4, I'm on the way to Bricks and Minifigs North Phoenix. This is kind of out in the middle of nowhere up in the north area, but I'm excited to go check it out. This is going to be, I think, the last Bricks and Minifigs for tonight, and then I'll hit some more tomorrow because things are starting to close, but thankfully this one is open until 7, so let's go. So here's the inside of Bricks and Minifigs North Phoenix. I just had a couple minutes in here before having to go on to the next location, and it was interesting because this one actually had a good selection of some newer sets but older ones as well. They had the original Lego Indiana Jones Temple of the Crystal Skull, which was one of my favorite sets growing up from 2008. They also had the original Temple of the Golden Idol, so that was a really interesting set to see, and it was cool seeing those next to some of the more modern sets. I saw some Lego Atlantis there as well, which was very nice, some vintage Lego Harry Potter, and of course the Forestman's Forest Hideout, which is one of the rarer Lego Forestman sets. Now at this store, I actually was able to pick up a couple of items I didn't own yet, specifically the Lego Indiana Jones Boat Chase. I figured that I should own a complete collection of Indiana Jones sets by the time my friend Jonathan, who is probably the biggest Lego Indiana Jones fan ever, comes and visits my collection in May. So by the time he gets here, there will be a full set of all the Indiana Jones sets, but you know, I'm in the process of getting them all, so that was basically what they had over there. And what was really cool is this store also had a sealed polybag of one of 10,000 limited edition golden C-3POs, which were given away for special kind of secret in the box items all throughout different Lego Star Wars boxes in 2009 when they were celebrating the 30th anniversary. Really interesting to see this be made available, and it's very uncommon to see it not just in good condition but sealed in the bag is absolutely nuts, and that was a very cool thing to see. Thankfully I already owned that figure, so there was no need for me to pick it up, but it was really cool just going around the store, and the owners were nice enough to let me really dig around in all the bins and see which ones that I want to pick up. They had some great Bionicle sets. They even had the Toys R Us exclusive box version of the Cole's Rock Raider, which is from Ninjago Day of the Departed, so that was really cool to see an actual special alternate box variation for that. And what was really cool, I think maybe the coolest item for me, was the new and sealed 6093 Flying Ninja Fortress from the original Lego Ninja theme in 1999. And beyond that, they had a crazy selection of sealed smaller Lego Adventurers sets like the plane here. Absolutely nuts that they just had so many of these for sale at a great price too. So that was a ton of fun. But soon enough, I had to make my way over to the next location, which was Bricksperience, which was one of the more unique Lego stores out there. Let's introduce it right now. Here we are at the final location of the night. This is Bricksperience. It's kind of up in the northern area of Arizona, and I'm really excited because this has a pretty unique style that I'm really excited to get into, where you not just have a used Lego store, but the entire focus is on it being a bit of a cafe where you can actually pay to sit down and build any set you want. It's a cool experience, it's a cool model. Let's check it out. So this is Bricksperience, and Bricksperience is actually one of the newest stores on this list. They really just opened up, and they're actually doing something really interesting because this is a kind of model that I've seen in places outside of the US, like there are some Lego building cafes in Korea and Japan and Dubai, but I've never actually seen this in the US. And basically what this is that basically they have a chance for people to purchase the Lego sets from them at whatever prices they're selling them at. But more interestingly, Bricksperience also offers a place for people to rent Lego sets, where you can rent Lego sets, build them, and then bring them back. The idea of renting Lego sets to build is a fairly new thing, and I think that it definitely does depend on what people want to do. It may not seem like something the standard Lego fan is interested in, but I actually happen to know a lot of people who are interested in paying to basically just build the Lego set, get the joy and the experience and the learning from building and putting it together, and then just giving it back. Or if they have no room in their house, they don't really know anywhere to put it, so they just bring it back, and it's a whole renting experience. So that was really interesting how they actually had a way where you could actually rent out for really cheap costs a Lego set, bring it home, build it, and then basically you just bring it back. It's kind of like a Lego library of sorts, which is a really interesting way of doing things. Of course, I had to pick up some rare Lego items from Bricksperience because they had a pretty crazy selection of really cool stuff, from sealed Lego UFO sets to Insectoids to Classic Space, Space Police 2, old vintage Technic, Knight's Kingdom, Bionicle, even some of the older Lego die-cast cars that they did all the way back when they were first introducing the Lego bricks. Bricksperience probably had the wildest selection of Lego items I've ever seen. And best part is they actually are a BYOB, so you could actually have an adults night, get some drinks, and build Lego at Bricksperience itself, which is absolutely one of the more unique ways to actually experience and play with Lego. It was really cool because I got a chance to chat with the owners. I got to meet the owner's son, who's building a really cool Lego Marvel modular MOC, which is the giant Statue of Liberty from No Way Home, so I can't wait to see them post that online. And overall, it was just a really cool experience seeing the different types of sets they had available at Bricksperience. They even had some of the wooden Lego toys, which was absolutely insane, and I just love the way they actually did the tables at the cafe as well by actually integrating some of the original Lego logo artwork and the patent artwork into the tables. It's a really unique experience and a really strange thing to see, especially as kind of a hybrid used Lego store, hybrid like Lego cafe style of thing. I had a blast learning more about Bricksperience, talking to the owners, and just seeing the selection of stuff they had, and I'd recommend you check it out just to see it for the vibes alone. I'm curious to see how they do, and if the model is a success, I wish them the best of luck, and it certainly is very unique compared to a lot of the stores on this list. But that about sums up the first half of the stores. That was the first 5 locations. So after seeing the first 5, I went home and started to unpack the haul because the next day I was gonna get up bright and early to go around with my friend Emily, or really my enemy Emily from LEGO Masters Season 4, as we tackled the next 5 locations. But before that, let's do a bit of an intermediary haul from my hotel room right now. Okay. So these bags consist of my haul from 5 of the stores. Again, we're going to a few more tomorrow, but halfway through the video, I figured, you know what? Let's take a look at what I got. I'm going to breeze through these because obviously they aren't built yet. They're just going to go into my build backlog. But one thing I have been doing is trying to complete my Lego architecture collection. And the first Bricks and Minifigs I went to actually had some pretty decent prices on these rare Lego architecture sets. So I got the Villa Savoy, which can be found in France. I also got the Rockefeller Center set, which is one of the very first Lego architecture sets they ever made. Still with the box, but honestly, I don't keep boxes, so I'm going to be throwing out pretty much all of the boxes here. Next up, we have the Brandenburg Gate in Germany, so another great architecture set to add to my collection. I got the John Hancock Center, also one of the very early ones. And most importantly for me, I was able to finally get the very last Skyline set that I didn't have yet. Now this was $150, which unfortunately is kind of the going rate for a smaller size set like this, but it's really special because this doesn't pop up that often. I think it had a bit of a more limited run than the other Skyline sets, but this is Berlin, and it's now finally completing my Lego Architecture Skyline selection, which I have displayed on the wall of my house. Now, moving onwards, I also got a sealed Lego Belleville set. I'm planning on doing a video on Lego Belleville and kind of the history of Lego doll-oriented themes for probably a few months, I would have to guess. So I've been trying to get a ton of Belleville stuff just to add up for that video to showcase, because we got a lot of pretty interesting things, and given that this is sealed, I kind of wanted to showcase the opening experience of a brand new sealed Belleville set in 2024. Moving on from that, I got a grab bag of Bionicle G2 masks. I realized I actually have the parts to a ton of G2 sets just lying around in my collection, so I figured why not just recreate some of them. I do have them all built already, but pretty much the duplicates are just missing the masks, and I've gotten them from random bulk bin lots throughout the many years, so I figured why not try to piece some of them together so I can showcase the original sets next to the custom versions that I've actually modified throughout the course of me owning the G2 sets. Now, lastly, I had to get the LEGO Movie video game exclusive poly bag. This is something that I didn't own yet for some reason, but it does have an exclusive version of Emmett with a special face print, so it is missing from my wall, but no longer, because this is now going to be added to my collection. And last up, I picked up something on behalf of my friend Jonathan, aka Mini Superheroes Today, who was going for the world record of largest LEGO Marvel collection, and he didn't own this with the instructions yet, so got it for the instructions, and I'll be giving this to him next week. Moving on from that, I'm pretty sure that's basically everything in the bag. One cool thing is that the West Valley Brick Builders lug was able to chat with me. They had a member there, and they even gave me a little bit of a souvenir of their logo. They're building some really cool stuff, and I can't wait to see them displayed at a future convention because I was blown away by the stuff they were building there. But of course, we went to 5 locations and not just one, so we can take a look at what I got at location number 4. Now this one, as I mentioned in the video, had these really cool sealed Lego System Adventures sets, which were really fantastic to get. It's so interesting to see these fully sealed. They're kind of polybag type sets, but they're in cardboard boxes, which makes them even more special. So I had to pick them up because the prices were not bad as well. Like the prices were actually quite good on this. And I also got, it's a little bit broken up here, but I got an Indiana Jones set I didn't own yet. I'm trying to complete my collection of Indiana Jones sets, and this one is the Venice Boat Chase. It's broken up. I'm gonna probably just bring it home and wash the pieces, but it's good to finally get this because I think it's one of the only sets that's missing from my Lego Indiana Jones collection, so hopefully I'll be at 100% complete pretty soon. Now there was one more bag, and that was at the final location I went to tonight. The owners were kind enough to actually gift me this sealed Lego Znap set. I thought this was so cool when I saw it because Lego Znap is one of the weirdest Lego themes ever. It is super interesting to find one of these, especially one that's fully sealed, and I was talking to them about it, and they just kind of gave me this one for free, so seriously, thank you so much. And they had a lot of really cool stuff. Now, what I had to do was I picked up a ton of these McDonald's Happy Meal building sets, which are really funny to see. They have these kind of big McDonald's Happy Meal building set text on them. This is from the early days when Lego was just beginning to partner with McDonald's in 1984. So these are McDonald's Happy Meal toys from 1984. Can you believe it? And it's fully sealed in really good condition, so that was super cool. And speaking of something really old and really cool, I had to get this really special item, which they sold for a really good price to me, because back in the early days when Lego was first experimenting with the Lego brick, they would produce these little plastic cars that you wouldn't even expect this to be a Lego item, but believe it or not, this is actually a Lego item. You can see the Lego logo right there. It actually is a Lego branded item that they were producing back in the day, where they had these cars which were situated in garages, which you could actually roll out and drive along the streets. It's super cool to get this one. I had to get this one because it is a Mercedes car, and I do love Mercedes, so I definitely had to pick this one up for my own collection. I don't own a ton of these small scale Lego cars, but it's always great to add another one to the collection of just vintage, unique Lego items. So that was super cool. Happy to now be an owner of this. I'm not going to be collecting a ton of them. I definitely can't collect all of them, I'm sure, but it was cool just to pick up one. And here's a look at the little garages they came in. You can see they had the studs going around. They had the Lego logo, the OG one back there, but it definitely, if you ignore the studs, doesn't even feel like a Lego piece. So that was super cool to get. They had a great selection of these items. This one is broken. It doesn't have the windscreen. That's why I got it at a really good price. But honestly, that doesn't matter too much to me. It's just really cool to own a piece of Lego history. And so far, that has been the haul for today. Again, we'll be visiting, hopefully, if I manage to squeeze in enough time, around 4 or so more locations tomorrow. So really excited to go to those, including some other used Lego stores and a Legoland Discovery Center, and I think a regular Lego store as well. I'll be meeting up with some other Lego Masters Season 4 contestants like Emilee. We're going to be checking them out together, so it should be a great time. All culminating in this Saturday, we're going to be checking out the grand opening of the 100th Bricks and Minifigs store. So I can't wait for that, and let's time travel over to tomorrow. Actually, you know what? I can't wait. I gotta open up this crazy weird Znap set right now just to see what it looks like fully sealed inside the box. So this is so cool to see. Again, it's really rare that you find one of these sealed, but honestly, I open up every Lego set I get if I don't own it because I really like being able to actually play with the things I get. So yeah, this is a Lego Znap set. If you don't know what Znap is, it was kind of Lego's answer to K-Nex or back in the day where they were going with a completely different building system. Super weird pieces, did not do well at all. But I'm really excited to put this together. It looks like you can do a ton of different builds out of it, whether you want a tricycle or some sort of almost like a pirate ship sort of thing, or like a swamp speeder, as well as a little helicraft or hovercopter, something like that, helicopter. We'll see what that's all about. But yeah, look at these crazy instructions. Pretty much all of them are just actual photographs of the thing. So these are all photos of what you want to build. This is, I guess, a fish? I don't really know what that's supposed to be. Yeah, it kind of looks like a fish with like an eye and a fin. I can see it. I don't know what that's quite supposed to be. This is some sort of a jet. You can have a car out of this, but you can just do all sorts of crazy stuff with the Znap pieces, and the instructions are actual photographs, which is pretty cool to see. I'm gonna put this together and let's have some fun with it. But that was just the first part of the trip, and things were just getting started. So the next day, I got up bright and early and met up with Emilee from LEGO Masters, who was really kind enough to give me a really special exclusive minifigure that I actually didn't own already, branded through LEGO Life that she got through Legoland, as well as a cue part from the Master Model Builder Workshop. So first of all, thank you so much for a really special gift. That was super cool. And after enjoying some delicious meals, we set off on the road and headed over to our first location, which was Bricks and Minifigs in Gilbert, Arizona. Let's introduce that right now. I'm here with Emilee!
Hi, Christopher!
At Bricks and Minifigs Gilbert. Let's do this.
Let's go!
Inside Bricks and Minifigs Gilbert, we had a huge selection of all sorts of different bricks, minifigs, and pieces, as is to be expected. Although, to be completely honest, there wasn't really anything I particularly had my eye on that I needed to pick up, but it was really cool seeing a specialized brick-built sign, seeing Ninjago City Gardens fully built out, and even some Bionicle representation as well, and just a really nice stock of all sorts of different types of items. I saw some European exclusive Star Wars magazine polybags, as well as just all sorts of different accessories and things to pick up, bulk bins as usual, plus just a ton of really fun sets, although unfortunately didn't really find anything I needed at this store, so then we moved on to the next store, which was Bricks and Minifigs in Chandler, Arizona, very, very close to this one. Let's introduce that one as well. We're here at the next location, Bricks and Minifigs Chandler.
Let's go, guys! Come on!
All right. Now at Bricks and Minifigs Chandler, I was personally treated to a really nice surprise because I actually got to meet up with the original founder and owner of Bricks and Minifigs all the way back in Canby, Oregon. He had flown out for the 100th Bricks and Minifigs opening celebration. And what's really crazy is that I have so many fond memories of going to this particular store when I was a kid. Growing up in Seattle, I was young enough to remember when Bricks and Minifigs only had one single store, and it would be an event. Like, I would make road trips out to that store, 2.5 to 3 hours, go into his store in Canby, and it just felt like things were coming full circle, that now he was out for the 100th store opening and I was out because I was brought out for a meet and greet. Things just really worked out, and it was super cool getting a chance to catch up with him and see how the business had gone since then. At this store, I saw a really great selection of all sorts of different elements, used pieces, new pieces, a ton of bulk bricks, and some of my favorite things to see were some of the retired LEGO Star Wars sets, and especially seeing some sealed LEGO Elves sets, especially sets from the final wave of LEGO Elves, which came out in 2018. Definitely one of my favorite themes and one of the most underrated ones in my opinion, but super cool to see a good selection here. I don't actually think I picked anything up because I think I owned everything in the store, but it always is good to visit a Bricks and Minifigs. But soon we were off to the next stop, which was opening up Arizona Brick Co. And let's see that right now. All right, here we are at Arizona Brick Co. You've never been, right?
Never been here, first time at this store. Let's see how it is.
Okay, let's go. Now you bet, I got some pretty crazy things here. Now, Arizona Brick Co. was not affiliated with Bricks and Minifigs whatsoever. They were kind of acting as their own independent store, and for whatever reason, they just had a crazy selection of all sorts of new and used sets from all eras of LEGO, and a ton of stuff that even I didn't own. I got one of my white whale sets here, which was the LEGO Castle 2008 Drawbridge Defense, which actually has the metallic gold knight from 2008. Such a cool set. Very happy to finally add that to my collection. And it was super cool actually seeing a ton of Bionicles for sale. They actually let me go in and pose the Bionicles in accurate ways or ways that looked cool, which I'm really grateful for because it was kind of just my chance to go crazy and play with some fun Bionicle sets because I hadn't been able to do that in a long time. And I also liked how they displayed the Hordika with them hanging from the top of the shelves. I thought that was quite clever. It almost makes me want to display mine like that. But of course, going around the store, they had a pretty wild selection. I was able to literally complete my collection of every architecture set ever with one of the sets here, which we'll take a much closer look at. That was the Farnsworth House. Super happy to be finally able to complete my LEGO architecture collection with the addition of that set, and their minifigure selection was insane. They had stuff from all years of LEGO, Classic Space, Islanders, Classic Castle, Harry Potter, Star Wars, you name it, they had it, and this was a pretty wild store to visit. They even had individual raised base plates being sold on their own, and a pretty good selection of them too, which I thought was really cool in case you ever want to build on your own mocks and stuff with it. Very, very nice to see that. And as you look in the back stock of the store, I saw them putting together LEGO Exoforce sets. I saw both Avatar The Last Airbender sets on display, the Batman movie Batwing, which is one of the best Batwing sets we've ever gotten, the Pirates of the Caribbean Black Pearl, just so many goodies and so many cool things to see here. And I had an absolute blast going around the store and just shopping for stuff that I didn't have yet. But you know what? Why tell you now when I could actually tell you there? Let's jump over inside the store itself, where I walk you through my haul from that store. All right, we're checking out from Arizona Brick Co. This is super exciting because I was able to actually complete a lot of holes in my collection. This is the last architecture set I did not own already, and I've been on a quest to get them all on my trip, so it's really great to finally get the last one. I also was missing this fantasy era castle set from 2008 with the elusive Gold Knight, which is one of the coolest minifigures that they made for that particular theme. And this is one of the only Star Wars sets I didn't already own. It's the 2007-2006 B-Wing, so it's great to finally get this very swooshable set, and just all sorts of really interesting stuff. This is the second to last Elves set I need to complete my collection, so a lot of good collection fillers here, and yeah, what an amazing store. Would definitely recommend you to check it out. And from there, it was time to hit the next location, which was a standard LEGO store. I have to visit it. Of course, if I'm in a new city or state or town, gotta visit the standard LEGO store. And Robert thankfully got off of work that time, so he was able to actually meet us at the store. We had a LEGO Masters reunion with me, Emily, and Rob at the store itself. They even let us take pictures behind the counter, which you can see right here, which was very, very cool. I actually did get some stuff here. I got some of the pick-a-brick pieces from the pick and build counter because they had some specialized pieces that I needed. Honestly, off the top of my head, don't really remember what exactly I got, but it was really cool to go there and be able to actually explore a full-on LEGO store. But then we've come to the penultimate location, and some would say the most important location of this entire trip, the whole reason why we were there, Bricks and Minifigs Mesa Red, which is officially the 100th Bricks and Minifig store ever opened, because for whatever reason, business is booming with Bricks and Minifigs. This was such an important event that not only did they have a grand opening ceremony scheduled for the next day, but we actually were able to go to a special press event happening that night at the Bricks and Minifigs location itself, and it was really cool to get a chance to meet the owners, to meet a ton of members from Bricks and Minifigs corporate, and have our own little photo shoot with some of the Target exclusive LEGO Snowman add-on accessories, which were life-size LEGO minifigure pieces like the magic wand, the top hat, we had the walkie-talkie, and I was regretting not picking those up because those are really fun to play around with, and it was just so much fun getting a chance to go to basically a pre-party celebrating 100 Bricks and Minifigs stores. As you can see, Rob and Emily were up to their original antics, and while they were goofing around, I got a chance to do some early pre-shopping of my own. And you bet, I went absolutely wild shopping here. I had so much stuff I wanted to get, and it was really cool being able to visit here and actually pick up a ton of items that I just had my eye on for a long time, but it finally made sense to get it to celebrate the 100th store. Of course, they had so many different sets from so many different LEGO themes. Just to call out some of my favorites, we had the Dieselnaut from Ninjago, the Mandalorian Starfighter from Star Wars, as well as the V-19 Torrent. And of course, I did some pre-shopping, so everything marked with a sticky note was yours truly. They were reserved for the duck, where it was very funny because by the time that folks walked in the store the next day, I'd say a good third of the store was filled up with duck brick sticky notes, but you know, it is what it is. The duck has to lay claim to the items that he needs for his collection first, but it was just really fun being able to meet a ton of folks from press and family members and just fans associated with the store before it actually opened itself. They had a really cool selection of sealed vintage LEGO sets as well, which was very, very interesting, like a vintage town minifigure pack, Island Extreme Stunts sealed set, and a ton of the original 2015 Pirates lineup sealed, which of course I had to pick up for myself. And there was so much more. We got a chance to sign a box that had been signed by what looked to be like the entire cast of LEGO Masters from Season 1 to Season 4. Almost everybody's signature was on it, so that was super cool that somebody has actually managed to track them all down, and kind of made me regret not doing that because I've met almost everyone at this point, and I feel like it's kind of a missed opportunity that I didn't get them signed, but it was still really cool to be able to get a chance to meet people and see what they had. They had the original LEGO Batman tumbler, which is a really rare set, and it was awesome just being able to take a ton of folks with friends and family of the owners of the store, and of course, Robert and I had a great time just hanging out with our friends and exploring the store itself. There are a lot more pictures and memories to share, and we can't go through every single one, but I do want to give a big shout out to Erin Eileen Photography. She was really awesome because she was there on hand taking pictures of us professionally, and they turned out really, really nice, and just want to give a big shout out and thank you for taking such great photos at this event. I feel like we need you at every single Bricks and Minifigs launch event now because this was a ton of fun, and it was just really cool being there at the 100th store and talking to so many people and socializing before the main event. But soon enough, it was time for the night to wrap up. And as the night wrapped up, Robert and I went out for a night on the town, hung out, had fun that night, and eventually returned the next morning after a very, very late night out, way later than we should have spent. Honestly, we did not need to go that hard that night, but we did for some reason, and returned bright and early the next day for our in-person meet and greet experience extravaganza, which was absolutely insane. Because we were not the only people there. They also brought along the Hanlons from Beyond the Brick, Emmasaurus and Mr. Saurus from their YouTube channels, and so this was kind of a mecca for all sorts of different LEGO celebrities and influencers from around the community to come together and do a super fun meet and greet at the 100th store, where the line was literally wrapped around the block, which was absolutely crazy to see. I met so many people here and again have so much footage of some stuff, and it's really hard to call out everything that really stood out. But I just will say it was really fun to see folks actually bring Bionicle mocks for me to look at. Always very cool when people literally come in and say like, hey, I've got this Bionicle mock to show you. And I think I held up the line at that point because every time someone brings something like that in, I will spend like 10 minutes talking to you. But it is so worth it, and please keep doing that because it is so cool to meet people, bring it in, their crazy stuff. Robert and I got a little stir crazy near the end and started drawing on each other's hands and arms, which is why in a lot of the footage you might be able to see Sharpie lines on each other's hands. Robert started it. I am completely blameless. I am not culpable for any of this. It was all Robert. He's the instigator, of course. Of course. But it was a really fun time being able to actually go around and see everybody hang out at the 100th store opening, which was pretty insane. We actually had time to swing by one more store before we left because I was dedicated to see them all. And so location number 11, if you count the LEGO store, was Bricks and Minifigs Central Phoenix. And let's introduce that with Rob right now. Our meet and greet is over, but there's one final location to go to. So Rob and I are checking out Bricks and Minifigs in Central Phoenix. Let's go. So Bricks and Minifigs Central Phoenix was actually a really nice surprise. We literally only had 10 minutes in the store because we got movie tickets to Past Lives. Great movie, by the way, would recommend. But in between that, the movie theater was literally down the street, and I just had to bring Robert to this final Bricks and Minifigs location. And I'm so glad we went because I actually was able to pick up quite a few items I needed to grab, like the LEGO Harley Quinn hammer truck from Batman 2008. I got another copy of the Atlantis Gateway of the Squid because my copy is all broken up and the parts have since been used in a ton of different mocks. I got some construction sets as well, I believe, and it was really crazy because they had copies of the original Cloud City set. So cool to see that in person. Some of the exclusive LEGO Movie 2 brickheads fully sealed. Very crazy to see that. A ton of the Star Wars construction figures new in box, which was super crazy to see. I even got a train set I needed to get, a cargo train. Just all sorts of really great sets here, a good selection of items, and even some space vintage base plates, which was super cool to see. Overall, this was a really nice way to cap off a pretty crazy and overwhelming day at the LEGO store, just going to one last one, getting a chance to do some last minute shopping before calling it a night. And then with that about sums up our entire experience going around all of the different stores in Arizona. That was 11 different stores, a crazy shopping adventure, so much footage, so much fun. I definitely can't wait to go back because this is probably the most used LEGO stores I've ever hit in the span of like 3 days. You know, I'm thinking back, I think it is. I think this is the most used LEGO stores I've hit in a subsequent row of 3 days. 11 unique stores, absolutely insane. But of course now it's your turn to let me know in the comments which ones, if any, have you been to, and based on the video or not, which ones do you think are the best? And are you excited to go check any of these out if you are ever in the Arizona area? With 10 used LEGO stores and a regular LEGO store and a LEGO Discovery Center as well. So that's pretty crazy, so much LEGO stuff to do there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. This was such a fun adventure, and I can't wait to hear what folks have to say in the comments. Alright, and with that, we have summed up my adventure through the 10 used LEGO stores in Arizona. What a crazy ride to just go to a state and find out that they randomly have 10 different used stores. I certainly was not expecting that whatsoever, but it was so cool being able to see every single one. Let me know down in the comments below if you have been to any of these or if you met me at any of them. Let me know as well. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye for now.